Hello, people. You're listening to an interview with Ms. Nitya Subramanian, ma'am. So, she's head of data analytics, EMEA at Killanova. Hello, ma'am.
Hi,
Pleased to have you here.
my pleasure.
And I framed these questions in very generic manner, and most of my questions are related to innovation and technology, AI, and those kind of questions. So, and I've also read that you are mentoring startups, right? So, we'll start up with this startup mentoring thing. You are both linked to Telangana and Tamil Nadu startup community. So, how does that work, and how you're into that?
Okay. So, in fact, the reason why I started to kind of mentor these startups is more so because, a part of me felt that, there is something, that as a nation, India has got significant amount of potential, right, to invest in, right, in terms of, the problems that we could pick up to solve, and also the frugal innovation that we have been having over all of these years. And these big organizations, right, who have got, of course, deep pockets, but they are like those. They've got pretty non-flexible processes. They've got non-flexible, I would say, agendas and strategies, right? So they may not be all that well suited for the kind of frugal innovation or nimble innovation, that is required. So I somehow felt that the startups were the right areas where we can see all of this contextual innovation happening, right, in a very frugal way. That's one aspect. Second aspect is, when I started talking to the startups, I realized that, of course, they initially they have a lot of passion about the idea that they are pursuing, and they try to remain focused, but over a period of time, you see, they get very much, I would say, engaged in operational issues. They get engaged in in an urgency to kind of put their products in front of the market, and of course, not to mention the pressure from the investors, VCs, etc. So at some point in time, I see that they start diverging from the core purpose why they initially started, and then they fail to see areas where there can be sustainable value addition, right, vis-a-vis a short-term, value generation. So I felt really compelled to kind of help them in finding their way back to, why they actually started, right, and how they can create a sustainable value over a period of time, rather than focusing on creating, a huge valuation for their organizations, and succumbing to the VC pressures. So, and then third one, right, very intuitively, right, we don't speak about governance in case of startups, right? And the examples of some of these failed startups in the recent times or in the last decade goes to say that, governance is very, very important, and discipline is very, very important. Governance, in terms of, be having a good financials, making the right use of money, and also ensuring that you follow those good governance practices, right, in terms of, having your MIS set up, having a good kind of whistleblower policy, and having some sort of fundamental board presence or a structure, right, in your startup. Of course, for a seed stage and maybe early series A, it might be an overkill, but as you progress, as you mature, as you try to kind of get in more and more funding and valuation for yourself, right, governance becomes very, very important, and it becomes a make or break at some point in time, right? So because of these three aspects, as I saw, right, first is the inherent potential that we, India as a nation, has with our intellectual capital, with our tendency for frugal innovation, and with so many use cases that we could work upon and build for the world, right? That is one thing. The second one was, obviously, because these startups. I wanted to ensure that they succeed in what they want to achieve as an end goal, right? And then the third one is to kind of instill some sort of a fundamental governance practices, right? So that sustainable long-term value generation and kind of they grow, they mature as they grow, right? So because of these three aspects, I thought I should get more deeply involved with startups.
Considering you mentor multiple startups, why do a startup fail?
Mhm. So there are multiple reasons, right, why potentially a startup could fail, right? And I've also seen a lot of these failed startup case studies, wherein primary reason is that they don't build for sustainable value, right? They build for a small problem statement which might not exist, right, beyond a couple of years or 5-6 years down the line. And when I speak to such kind of startups with ideas, they target on acquisition. They target on saying, we want to kind of put ourselves up for sale and then we want to exit. I somehow feel the idea to be a bit counterintuitive, right? And such kind of startups who are thinking pretty short term, I have seen them fail. I've terribly failed. And there are some startups where the VCs are kind of trying to run the show, whereas they shouldn't be, right? They might have, they shouldn't be having the driver's seat. They can sit next to the driver and say, okay, if you go like this, you would reach faster. If you do this, you might be driving safer. Rather, trying to take the wheel from, from the founders, right? So, succumbing to the VC pressure is another reason why I see startups deviate and fail.
Nice. And most of our audience would be college students who listen to this thing to get positively influenced, So, and so many of us have very good ideas and we don't really know how to execute it and what's the next step. We have this very good idea. And what's the next step? What you think should be the next step?
I think if you have idea, right, you need people who could kind of sponsor those ideas, right? And sponsorship is not only monetary. Sponsorship is also something where, there are people who feel your idea is great and they can take that to multiple forums where, it can get the kind of attention so that, you get the, right investments. See, most of the startups I have seen, they have been bootstrapping, right, at the beginning, right? And of course, they have got investment from friends and family. They say triple F, right? Friends, families and fools, right? That's though I would rather believe that, that's kind of a ecosystem support they get, right, for their very good idea. But at some point in time, when they have a kind of a bare minimum product, right, they should rather go and seek out to various forums, right? And of course, Startup India has got a certain forum. Similarly, Tamil Nadu has got Startup Tamil Nadu. Then Telangana has got T-Hub, right? So these are the areas where they can approach and showcase their idea and get more of people to kind of, vouch for these ideas, right? And once such idea is something which comes out and, really stands out, that's when all of the funding, would automatically start flowing in. Everybody wants to kind of make money. Everybody wants to invest in great ideas. Just that these great ideas don't, they don't come to the awareness of people, right? So that's something that you have to, every founders, right? They have to ensure that they do.
How does one approach these kind of people? When talking with someone, we should provide a value to that person to talk with us, right? So how does one provide that kind of value to someone?
So if I'm not wrong, what you're saying that how do you approach?
Yeah, how do I approach someone? At the same time, how do I give a value to them to speak with me, to mentor me, right?
Okay. See, I can talk about from my experience of how I've engaged, right? So I have engaged with, couple of startups as a part of Tamil Nadu initiatives. And then I have been engaged with a couple of startups with T-Hub, and I have also spoken to a few of them as a part of my NASCOM initiatives. The point is how these people kind of get to know about me, right? We don't exchange any notes, right from the beginnings, right? So what happens is these institutions like T-Hub or Tamil Nadu government, Startup TN or NASCOM, they kind of get these startups registered onto their platforms, right? And then they kind of look at the idea. See, the idea has to have certain constituents to it, right, to kind of really stand out. It has to be an original idea. It has to be a long-term value generation, sustainable idea. It has to be innovative in the sense it's not the same thing done differently. It has to be different, right, in the sense that the kind of problem it is solving and how it intends to solve it, right? So once these ideas stand out, right, these organizations like NASCOM or T-Hub or Startup TN, etc., they would pick up and then start incubating and start matching, the startups and the founders with the mentors. For example, my expertise could be, it's in AI, machine learning, right, digital transformation, etc., right? So maybe there is some startup which requires help in this area, or any startup which is digital native, right? So then there is a very good match between me as a mentor and the startup. Assuming that there is a startup, say in green energy, right, sustainable energy, etc., right? So then they will find the right mentors and match, right? That is how we get to know about these startups and engage with them, right? But I think where you're coming at is how do you make yourself visible to these forums? I think you have to kind of participate in things like Startup Mahakumbh and all of that happen, right? Wherein you'll have to pitch for your idea. No one is going to come to it. I wish it were so simple a world, right, where free lunch is served to anyone, but it's not like that, right? So there has to be that initial kind of a push and from the individual founders, right? A little bit of bootstrapping and all of that has to be there. But at some point in time, it's your idea that will speak for itself.
So it was very insightful speaking with you, ma'am. And thank you so much for your time and your valuable infos and everything. Cheers. Thank you.
My pleasure, Ma.